Hi guys, so earlier today I made a video talking about how my navel piercing is healing up. I got it done a week ago, and while making that video I realised that it might be fun to talk about how my septum is healing up since I got it done at the same place and I got it done pretty much exactly a year ago. And since it didn't occur to me last year to do a series of videos talking about how it was healing, I figured I'd just make one video and talk about how it's doing since it's fully healed now. So I went to New Image Studios in Paisley in Scotland and I really like them. I love the girl that works there, she's really nice, and they're really affordable. So they weren't my first choice for going. The place I originally went to was where I got my cartilage piercings done, but the guy that worked there basically said that my septum is slightly off-centre, so he wasn't comfortable piercing it. I'd never really noticed it before, but as soon as he said it I did kind of notice it. But I really wanted it done, so I went and got a second opinion and I asked her, is it okay to pierce? I told her that the other piercer had said that it was off centre and stuff, and she said, no, it's fine, I can pierce it, it will be fine. And I'm really happy with the results. I was like seriously expecting the worst, but it's actually completely fine. So pain wise, if we take a lobe piercing as being maybe 5, this was maybe about a 7 or an 8. The most uncomfortable part for me was having the clamps on my septum. That was really odd. But then when it went through, it made my eyes tear up a little bit, but literally it lasted like 2 seconds and it was done, and I was just like, oh my god, I just got it done, amazing. And yeah, I was really happy. So the piercing they put in was really standard. It looked pretty much exactly like this, except with metal balls on the end instead of clear acrylic spikes. This is one of the ones I sometimes use, and it was big enough that I could, you know, flip it up if I had to. I was living with my parents at the time, and while my mum knows about it now, she kind of flipped out. I managed to hide it for about 6 months. I don't know why I hide it, it's just a silly thing I do with all my tattoos and piercings. I kind of like to hide it until they find it. And you know, I'm 20 now, and I was like 19 then, so it's not like I'm underage or anything. I just sort of like doing it. I don't really like telling them when I get it done because I don't like them seeing it while it's healing. So what I'll do is I'll show you what I've got in right now. So this ring is either 7 or 8mm across, and I just like the way that smaller rings look on me. Because I'm quite small and my face is small, I really don't like the look of big massive jewellery on it. This ring is technically a captive bead ring, but I'm terrible with them and I kind of like the way it looks without the ball on. So before I talk about how it healed, I guess I should talk about what happened the day I got it done, since it was really stressful and eventful and a lot of stuff happened with my septum that was really kind of horrific and just not fun. So the day I'd kind of decided to get my septum done was the same day that I had to go to a university audition. So I had to go all the way to Edinburgh to audition for a classical music course that I didn't really want to do, and it was like the most stressful thing I've ever done. I was so stressed that literally when I was being asked the questions, I was visibly shaking, and I knew I was, and I couldn't stop it. I think maybe the lecturer asking me the questions was afraid that I was gonna throw up all over him or something. I just felt so bad, and I don't think I did that well, and in the end I didn't go to that uni. But once I was done, I was basically like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna get my septum done straight after. So I went all the way back to Paisley, got it done, really easy, and then after that I was playing a college gig. It was like an assessment, so I showed up and I had my septum in, and everyone was like, oh, it's really cool, and we did the gig and it was really stressful. I had like so much stress that entire day. It just was not fun. The gig went pretty well, I was really happy, and then that night I was staying at my boyfriend's for a couple of days. So I went there, and that night I was kind of feeling a bit odd. At the time I thought it was just due to all the stress and stuff and, you know, just getting my nose pierced, that whole day it didn't really hurt at all. It was because of all the adrenaline. It was completely fine. And I was like, cool, and I went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, I was really, really, really ill. Like, I thought I would have to go to the hospital. I was just so bad. I wasn't throwing up or anything, but I felt like death and I couldn't get out of the bed. And my boyfriend had to phone my dad to pick me up because it was that bad. And I had this whole debacle because I didn't want my dad to know I had my septum in. I'd kept it out during the night, but my face and like my throat and my nose had gotten all swollen and gross. I was nearly crying because I couldn't flip the ring up, and it took me literally half an hour. I was so weak and I didn't want my boyfriend to do it, and I was just like, and eventually I got it in, and I just felt so bad for the next 3 days. I don't know what was wrong with me, if I caught something or if it was just way too much stress on my body, but the only times I really got out of bed for the couple of days after that were to like clean it and make sure it was okay and to get food and like go to the bathroom. That was the only times I got out of bed. But after all that was over, the healing went completely fine. When I was ill, I was really worried that it would get infected from me being all sick, or that something would go wrong, and I was really, really worried. But everything turned out fine. Literally as soon as I was well again, everything went great. For the first couple of weeks, it kind of hurt to like put pressure on my nose or touch it kind of anywhere around where it was. I found I got crusties around the sides of it that were really, really odd, and it felt like shards of glass in my nose, and they'd like kind of reform every couple of hours, so I'd have to like get a Q-tip and kind of go around it, and it would really, really hurt if any of it dug into my nose, but that only happened for a couple of weeks. In retrospect, getting my septum done in January probably wasn't a good idea because it was so cold here in Scotland that like my nose would just ache from having the metal in my face. It would just be like really, really sore when it was cold, and I'd have to wear scarves over my nose and look really weird. But come March time, the crusties stopped forming and everything was fine. I could move it about. It took a couple of months for the tingly feelings and pain of touching my nose to completely 100% go away, but now it's gone. It's been a year, it's completely fine. I think I changed the jewellery about 2 months in, if I remember right, and that went fine. At the stage I'm at now, if I take the jewellery out, I can happily leave it out for about 6 hours, and the only thing that happens is the jewellery is a little harder to get in. I don't know if I'd be comfortable sleeping with the jewellery out, but I probably wouldn't do that anyway, and I kind of wouldn't recommend that. But all in all, I'm really happy with how it went, and it wasn't nearly as scary as I thought it would be. And aside from being ill, the healing was actually really, really easy, all things considered. I expected it to be a nightmare. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be posting updates on my navel piercing progress every so often, so if you enjoy these types of videos, be sure to check it out. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.